Hey guys, it's Mike again here with another deck profile, and we're going to go over the changes that I've made to Sky Striker this month, so let's get right into it. To start with, still on 4 aces. I don't know when I'll ever cut Rose. I like having the 4, and her effect with the bringing herself back from the graveyard is nice, and enabling the OTK, even though I don't really go into that, but it's relevant to have access to. And into hand traps, 3 Ash. I think I'm always going to play 3 Ash in Sky Striker. I'd be surprised if I ever don't, because I believe the best way to run Striker, especially my going second one, is just having the most generic answers possible. And at Jay's recommendation, we're not doing Nib, we're doing Droll, because Droll is really good this format, and I like having access to him. And then we're still on 2 Veiler. This, as I discussed in my previous month's video, is still a generic, you don't necessarily know what you're going against at your locals build. That's typically how I play Striker, especially until I know exactly what people are playing at my locals. But Droll is just a nice concession to the format, and you don't really need Nibiru a ton, especially since I'm maining things like Lightning Storm. Alright, into the spells. 2 engage. Not a lot to say here. You're going to play as many of these as Konami lets you play. And then 3 linkage. This really helps with your ace problem that Sky Striker used to have a lot. Very few hands don't have an ace in them between things like linkage and engage and Rhoda and all that good stuff. I really like linkage. It's a super nice card. Plus, don't forget you can play one of your spells, Chainlink 1, Linkage, Chainlink 2, send the spell. So that's really relevant. It also helps with your spell count, which is fantastic. Alright, and then we're on 3 Widow Anchor. If Engage wasn't the best spell in your deck, Widow Anchor probably would be. Especially, we're running some interesting things in the extra deck that help with Anchor potentially too. Double Afterburner, I really like this card. One thing to bear in mind is you can play... Hang on 1 second. I should really remember what this card is called, because it's a great option if there's a... here it is. Okay, Offerings to the Doomed is a good option in this deck if you have a bunch of Sprite at your locals, because they can try to do the special summon if you have it too, Offerings to the Doomed, kill it, and the draw doesn't really matter that you don't draw your next turn, especially since you have Engage. I don't run it right now because I don't need it, but that's a good option if you're gonna fight a lot of Sprite at your locals. 2 multi-rolls, as I've said before. I don't think you need 3. It's kind of a dead draw. I like having 2. Especially since sometimes if you're not really sure what you want to send off of Hayate, you can just send a multi-roll. It's fine. And then my singleton Sky Striker spells are Area 0, Shark Cannon, and Hornet Drones. This one, because it's limited, and honestly it's probably one of your least impactful Sky Striker spells. And Area 0 is good. I don't really want to play more than 1. And Shark Cannon, it's kind of meta dependent how many you're going to be playing. In this current meta, I don't really see playing more than 1. Then on to my non-Sky Striker spells. 3 Droplet. It sucks against Chashtira, but it's amazing against everything else. Helps with your spell count. It's fantastic. Although, as someone pointed out in the comments previously, can't send Area 0 to get an ace. I was wrong about that. I screwed up in the last video, but still really good. Just remember, when you send this cost, you don't get the ace off of it. 2 Lightning Storm. I did run 3, but they semi-limited it. It's still fine. I really like Lightning Storm, given that I think Sky Striker is best going second. So, 2 Book of Eclipse. This is our concession to Kashtira, and it's not a terrible spell. Also, I don't mind cards like this, because if they're bad in the matchup, they're just the easiest thing to board out then, and you don't even have to think about it. 2 Triple Tactics. I don't think I'd want to run 3, but I do really like this card. It's fantastic. It solves a lot of problems for you when you get stopped with hand traps, drawing, or taking cards out of your opponent's hand. I'm a big fan of discard, so being able to do that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fantastic as well. And then my singleton spells. Another ace in the form of reinforcements, terraforming to get your field spell, and I play 41 cards, so here's the Upstart Goblin. I like Upstart as your 41st card because it's essentially free and it adds to your spell count. And then then the last 3 cards in the deck, 3 imperms. They're amazing. They're a really good hand trap, and they're useful to negate things like anti-spell for a turn. When Super Heavy was around, you can set them and mess up their pendulum column. They're great. Now onto the extra deck. Standard Sky Striker lineup, 3 Kagari. I love Kagari. She's probably my favorite card in the whole deck. 2 Hayate and 3 Shizuku. Those are the base ones, and then I'm running an Azalea and a Zeke. You do not need Azalea. If you don't have her, it's not a big deal. I would probably play a second Zeke. Kaina is also an option. I'm just not running her right now. I do have her, and I have ran her in the past, and I really like her, especially when your opponent will remove one of your aces during their turn. Then you can bring back Ray, go into Kaina, and prevent their biggest guy from attacking. Then we've got 2 Charmers to help us link climb, Hita and Dark. Sometimes I'll play Lina. I'm just playing Hita right now because I don't know if there's necessarily enough light, and there's always Ash Blossom. And then Nightmare Unicorn and Access Code. Now, the thing I changed, I was playing Underworld Goddess, but we're testing with Chaos Angel. And we'll explain how I can actually play Chaos Angel when we get to the sideboard in a second. So, to start, 3 Bell, really good hand trap. Could be DD Crow if you feel like that's more relevant, but I feel like Bell targets more things right now. 3 D Barrier because it's a blowout. We're probably going to keep playing this until they ban it, which they probably should at some point. And then, let's go into the Chaos Angel stuff. So we're playing 2 Magnemite and a Druid Swarm. So, how this works with Chaos Angel is you need a light or dark to take the place of your tuners. So any of your aces plus a Bestial can make Chaos Angel. And then the other nice part, since you're Sky Striker, you can steal a 6 or a 4 too. So, and then you can technically also go Ash Blossom off a 7. That's less likely unless you're playing something like Kashtira. But, you know, Chaos Angel's just a really good beat stick that is hard to remove, and I want to give him a shot. I have one, so it seemed like a fun thing to do. Plus, Bestials are nice. They're more graveyard removal. They're a big body. The only problem you can have with them is if you're gonna go into a Bestial, make sure you're not locking yourself off your Sky Striker spells, because that would be really sad. And then the rest of the board is the same as it was before. 3 Cosmic Cyclones, and 3 Dark Ruler No Mores. I really like Dark Ruler. It's a really good answer to a lot of problems, and I tend to value spell cards in your board with Sky Striker a lot more, because, you know, they add to your passive spell count. And then Cyclone is great, just banishing things. It's great in the mirror. It's great to deal with things like Welcome Labyrinth, all that stuff. So, yeah, that's my changes to Sky Striker. Let me know what you think about the Chaos Angel. Yeah. Like and subscribe.